Hey, Bobby! Bobby! Bobby's ignoring me. Bobby usually talks to me. Bobby. Hey, Bobby! Bobby! Oh! Bobby, say hi to the camera. Hey, say hi to the camera, little guy. Well, guys, this is my golden goose, Bobby. Or at least that's what we're going to call it for now. So, we had the American buff goose eggs. Unfortunately, I don't know if I did something wrong or if we just weren't lucky enough to get a lot of good eggs. But Bobby was the only one that hatched, well, healthily hatched. We had one other one that hatched, but wasn't strong enough to live. So unfortunately, between one egg that was bad and two that weren't fertile, the rest did not internally pip, so they did not hatch at all. So Bobby's our prize goose. So we're keeping Bobby close to us. He's been in the house. The kids are spending a lot of time with Bobby, and so are Cindy and I, because we want to make sure that he's very friendly with us. Or she. We don't really know. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, guys, well, Cindy messed up.
I did not.
Okay, well, I messed up, we messed up.
We messed up.
We messed up. So we talked to you guys previously about potentially getting rid of our pigs, and we did successfully do that. We managed to rehome them.
Yes, together.
Yes, all of them went together to what I understand is a 40-acre pastured property about 4.5 hours away from here. So now we are going to clean up this mess that is our front yard. One of the things we pride ourselves with here at Simple Air Homestead is we try to make the most of all the space we have. And I think the pigs were probably
trying too hard.
Trying too hard, yeah.
A bit too much.
We don't have the drainage here in the clay. The ground just could not recover fast enough, and it wasn't fair to the pigs. So we understood that, and we had to make it right by finding them a good place to be. And
I think we did.
Yeah, it seems that we did that. So that's sad news, but a positive. We're happy.
Yeah. So the plan for this area now is to
grow grass.
Yes, let it recoup.
Let it recoup. It should be very fertile now. It's very well aerated. I don't think we can fix our drainage problem, but what we're thinking about maybe doing is intentionally making a low spot for the water to kind of gather in the wet months of the year, which is quite a few of them in our front yard. And once everything's kind of recovered, we'll let the ducks and geese, well, the ducks and
goose.
Bobby, the goose, use that area. So that's kind of what we're thinking right now.
Yeah, so it'll take a while to recover, but then our plan is to open it up for more space for the poultry.
Yes. Yeah, we're not going back into pigs. The Nigerian dwarf goats will be our largest animal on our homestead.
And I'll tell you one thing, I have all these loose seeds at the bottom of my seed container that just spilled and I'm not sure what's what. I am so tempted to just throw them into this fertile ground and see what comes up. I just might do that.
It's gonna happen. We know it will. So, okay, moving on. Let's go, speaking of goats.
Sure, let's go see the babies.
We have a few babies to show you guys this week, but we want to give you an update on the little goat babies, which we haven't yet named.
Not quite.
All right, let's go check it out.
Well, these little girls are growing fast. Hello, sweetie. And yeah, they don't quite have names yet. I'm really leaning toward this lighter colored one being Peaches. They are the same color, but this one has dark legs, and one of the names we're contemplating is Bert's suggestion of Boots. But we also have some other ideas. Pepper, Poppy, hello, Waffles, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to put up a survey or a poll on the community tab And if you could slip over there and give me an opinion, that'd be great. But they are growing nicely, and they are so active and running and jumping. Yeah, ready to go play? Okay. This one is completely undisturbed. Hello, are you Peaches? I think you are.
Okay guys, our cold frame greenhouse that we have here, we did some work on it this week. We want to kind of bring you up to speed on where we're at with that. We had some shelves in here that were made of an old door, and the door was hollow, and the water from sitting with the plants had deteriorated the door. And I had a couple of things given to me that I wanted to make use of, and one was wire shelving for closets. And my brother-in-law came across a inline fan, so I'll show you what I did with that stuff. So the old door used to sit over here, and it was just one shelf. So by taking that solid door out, it opened up so the sun is able to hit the bottom where the gravel sits on the floor. Plus we have this other shelf, and the wire shelves were actually a little bit longer than I needed, so I cut them off, and I was able to make this hanging shelf as well as this top shelf, which gets us it's not a big area, but it's good for smaller plants and starting things. So the other side, we still have some old wooden doors that were like the one we took out, but they seem to be holding up okay for now. But I think I might keep an eye out for more of this material because it works really well. Now, being a cold frame, it does get cold in here at night. So what we've done over here is Cindy's got some plants started. She's going to talk to you about that stuff. But we've got some heated mats that we're using to control the temperature in the evening. If you look up here in this far corner, I had the inline fan that I talked to you guys about. It's a big 8-inch fan. You can hear it running right now. And it's set to come on with this Inkbird here. I believe at 28 degrees Celsius, the fan kicks on and draws the air through the top of the greenhouse here from this other vent on the other end. Keeps the air moving and takes some of that heat away so it doesn't get quite too hot in here. So it's kind of some extra stuff we had that we were able to make use of. This was just an old milk crate that had broken, so I cut it to hold the fan in place and to avoid us being able to just accidentally stick our fingers in there. That's what I did in here this week, but Cindy did some other stuff, so I'm gonna trade spots with her, and she's gonna talk about what's happening in here.
So as Bert said, it does still get really cold in here at night. So we are using a couple of heat mats, and that's all I had. So I've only brought out the plants that will fit on these two mats. I brought out a good amount of pepper plants and a few of the tomatoes. I'm really looking forward to bringing more plants out here because in the house they're not getting sufficient light. It doesn't seem like it because they're getting a little bit leggy. And I really want to get them out here to get the good sunlight. So as soon as I think it'll be warm enough at night for them, without having the heat mats, I'm gonna fill up these shelves. The rest of the greenhouse or cold frame could use some organization, but that's for another day.
One of the issues we have in our climate is we can't have citrus trees outside. And we didn't want to have them in the house because we don't have a lot of room for big plants. So I took these 3 citrus trees here and I stuck them in the quabba tree over the winter. And they did lose all their leaves, and I wasn't sure if they were going to make it, but I thought we would just try it anyway. So the other day, it was warming up out here. I knew it wasn't warm enough to keep them outside all the time, but I stuck them in here in the greenhouse. And if you look at these plants, you got to look fairly close, but they are starting to fill back in with leaves. So next winter, I'm probably going to do the same thing. Will allow us to keep these trees, but without keeping them in the house, and they'll go dormant by the looks of it in the winter time, and then come back again. These guys here, they're not dead, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. These are avocados. I did the same thing with them, but I put them in a little too late. They seem to be a little more sensitive to temperature. And by the time I actually put them in the quabba tree, they didn't look a whole lot better than they do right now. But the bottom of the stalk is still green, so I don't think they've totally died. So what I suspect is probably going to happen is they're likely going to come back from the bottom, and I'll have to get them inside sooner next winter if we intend to keep them. So just a quick update on that stuff, guys, because I know we haven't really talked about it, but we weren't sure what was going to happen. But now that we see the outcome, we thought we'd let you know. All right, guys, we're back in front of the quabbitry here. I want to go inside for a sec because I have to show you our recent hatch. Check this out. So in our brooder here, we have what we normally have, which is our barred rock chickens, but we also hatched 7 of the American or Canadian or French breast chicken, whichever you know them as. And so we had bought a dozen eggs to try, and we were fortunate we got 7 to hatch, which wasn't too bad. So now we just have to hope that maybe 1 rooster and 6 hens if we're lucky, but it will give us a little variety with the chickens that we keep here on Simple Acre Homestead. Primarily we have the barred rock, and then we have a bit of the barnyard mix that we have in the front yard, which are, well, I shouldn't say just a mix. We also have a couple of olive eggers and an Americana rooster, but we focused more on the barred rock. We're bringing in these American breast chickens to try and see what we think of those. One thing I did notice when we got the eggs is they are smaller than the barred rock. And from what I read online, the chickens themselves are comparable, but maybe just a little bit smaller as well. So we'll have to see. They are supposed to be potentially a pretty flavorful chicken, but we'll find out.
All right, so I want to show you something I'm really excited about. Right now, it just looks like dirt. But we finally put seeds in the ground, in the garden. And those are our pea seeds that we planted, and I say we, me and the kids helped, planted all along the playground fence so that they can climb and trellis. I planted, I think, 4 varieties. Could be 5, I'm not sure, we'll see. And I'm just hoping for an awesome harvest this year. I keep saying that, but I really am, because last year it was terrible. And so we started here. The majority were Cascadia peas, and I'm just using the peas I had. I'm using them up so I can save fresh seeds for next year. I'm not super picky about what kind. I just want to see things grow right now. So Cascadia peas all the way down here. Over here we have a smaller patch of avalanche peas. You can see my high-tech labeling system here with painter's tape. It works. Here an even smaller patch of snowflake peas, which I believe are just a type of salad pea. And down here some green arrow. So I can't wait to see things pop up, and I will show you as that happens. Okay guys, this is my sourdough starter. I had done one before, but I was neglectful and it didn't survive. So I started a new one about 10 days ago, and it's doing okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's obviously bubbly, but it's not as bubbly as I expect it to be. So I want to repair it. Now I did do this with all-purpose white flour, and from everything I read, whole wheat is the way to go. So I finally got a bag of whole wheat just for this purpose, and I'm going to try to fix this up. So I'm going to pour out half of it and then start over. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 cup of water. Whoop. Let's try this again. Just under 1 cup of water. Okay, I'm going to add 1 cup of water and 1 cup of whole wheat flour and mix it up really well. So that's half a cup. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a really good stir and scrape down the sides afterwards, and cover it loosely and let it sit for 24 hours, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to get this video out to you sooner, so I'll have to update you on the next video. And guys, that is it for today. So thanks for joining me, and please like, subscribe, and share, and see you next time.